and things like it is the equivalent of the red pill.
This is a technology, it's a computing language, and I can build an app on it.
Is Bitcoin the currency of the future?
Crypto gang, it's the game, big gang, all gang, light gang, cash game, blockchain, whoa. I don't really ever buy stocks, man. No. Haters wanna say I'm in a bubble, man. No. Chew them up like bubble gum. No. Just made a meal with my pocket change. No. Wreck about to go and join the HODL gang. HODL gang, HODL gang, HODL gang. Crypto gang, it's the game, big gang, all gang, light gang, cash game, blockchain, whoa. I don't really ever buy stocks, man. No. Haters wanna say I'm in a bubble, man. No. Chew them up like bubble gum. No. Just made a meal with my pocket change. No. Wreck about to go and join the HODL gang. HODL gang, HODL gang, HODL gang. Ethereum pays for my rent. Bitcoin pays for the vent. Litecoin pays for the jet. Bitcoin cash for the rest. Spent 30 racks on an ICO. What coin did you buy? I forgot, yo. Just got started last night, bro. And I'm already hooked like a pipe stove. Flipping the coin, making it grow, taking it slow, letting it go. Cash flow's growing, it's incredible to watch it flow. Stacking the cash, taking it home, making it fast. I'm on a roll, little bit mo's all I ask for the bubble though. Currently, learning about a new type of currency. Burning the dollar down like an emergency. Urgently, listen, my friends have been urging me. Coins have been surging, we're earning like surgency. We on a mission, man. Crypto maniac. Act like you don't really know about it. Stop that. Bitcoin blowing up like a bomb. Step back. Used to be a couple $100. Should've copped that. Blew up on a scene from the mind of a brainiac. Back in 2009, where the mine is at. Silk Road, baby, it's gotta be anonymous. Satoshi blew up, now we on the map.
Good evening, good afternoon, salutations, everyone. For those of you who are in the Bag Chasers and my family over at Circa 84, you will be getting this the day of. We are working on crypto portfolio updates Sunday, April 7th. I hope you are all having a great day. I hope you have made it through bag fortification Friday. I hope you made moves to secure the bag. I also hope you got to go outside, touch some grass, enjoy some of this decent weather. If you had decent weather, I know it's been crazy all around the map, but we just got into a spell of decent weather that is month appropriate. And yeah, you know, a little bit of money got spent, but most of the money stayed in, as much money as possible. We're going to jump right into it. This weekend was interesting. We started some stuff. There's some interesting movements that happen. Some movements that are going to be continuing to happen. And yeah, we're going to just jump right into it and we're going to talk about it. Let's pull this up. First and foremost, we're going to get to the good stuff. As we can see today, as of April 7th, at this time of recording, first off, shout out to CoinGecko, but first and foremost, even more important, shout out to Delta Investment Tracker, app sponsor of myself and the show and the platform. If you have not given that a try yet, I high-key recommend it. We've still got some more work to be done over there, but most any update pictures you see from me on social media are coming directly out of my Delta Investment Tracker app. I use it myself. Wouldn't be promoting it if I didn't. Bitcoin dominance is at 50.2%, which means that altcoins took a beating, a thrashing. There's just not much energy in there. Little bit of movement in the meme coins, but man, it is. Bitcoin dominance is Bitcoin dominance. Ethereum dominance is the other 15.2%. I want to see both of these drop 5%. That's what I'm looking for. Gas fees are expensive at 37 Gwei for fast, for standard, 39 for high, and 37 for safe. Ugh. Real expensive to move money through Ethereum right now, folks. And there's not much more to be said about that. Let's talk about the top 3 trending coins right now. We have R Trade at number 1, Gala at number 2, GameFi, and Moon Tropica at number 3. Now moving over to the next pivotal part of the show, we've got the top 5 gainers and losers. Now for this one, let me move my big head out of the way because this is about the alpha. This is about the movements. As we're looking, it's sideways up. There's some decent gains to be had, but bull run gains, these gains are minuscule. The losses are looking like retracements. This is a sideways day for the market. This is what I'm looking at and our top gainers and losers, but we're going to jump right into it nonetheless. At number 1, we have it ranked 656. Harvest Finance, FARM, with a gain of 96.9% in the last 24 hours. At number 2, we have Zbit Ordinals at rank 859, ZBIT, with a gain of 88.4% in the last 24 hours. At number 3, at rank 820, we have non-playable coin NPC with a gain of 88.9% in the last 24 hours. At number 4, we have at rank 529 Normie, NORMIE, with a gain of 40.9% in the last 24 hours. At number 5, last but not least, actually we can swap 4 and 5, but at rank 272, we have Toshi, TOSHI, with a gain of 43% in the last 24 hours. Now we're going to move over to the losers list. We could call it the retracement list today because we're moving sideways. At number 1, at rank 400, we have Children's Aid Foundation, CAF, with a retracement with a loss, with a pullback of 25.1% in the last 24 hours. At number 2, we have at rank 724, we have Picasso, PICA, with a retracement, with a loss, with a pullback of 17.5% in the last 24 hours. At number 3, we have at rank 939, Digitaru Tsuka, TSUKA, with a pullback of 15.7% in the last 24 hours. At number 4, we have at rank 509, REI Network, REI, with a pullback of 13.4% in the last 24 hours. And at number 5, last but not least, we have at rank 688, Soul Chat, CHAT, with a pullback of 13.4% in the last 24 hours. Now, moving on to the good stuff. Let's talk about the portfolio. We made some buys, we did some moving, we did some shaking. We are currently up 27.05% in total for the year. Well, for the start of this portfolio, which we started this portfolio in December. We always roll out the portfolios in December, so I have an extra month on mine because we start up in December, we wind down in December. It's the very beginning of the month. We do a massive conversion of over. We get what we need to get out. We put in what we need to put in to get it started. So December is kind of our year to date because we start a little bit early. So it's like 2 weeks in December, 3 weeks in December, something like that. But I digress. Moving forward. Oh, I didn't even give you guys the pie chart. As we can see, pie chart looking good, looking successful. We're making moves. I don't like to see a bunch of really thick numbers, but we're getting there. I remember when this started out. We started this portfolio and we were under 10K in assets under management in here, and we have moved up. We're looking at some different numbers now. But that Solana ecosystem has been cooking. It's been doing work. Let's get into it and then we'll give thoughts. So we've got Lido staked Ether at number 1. And remember, we're skipping over the stablecoins. So we got Lido staked Ether at number 1. Honestly, I think we should totally skip the Lido staked Ether too, because that doesn't really add value. That might as well be a stablecoin because it's never moving. It's just what it is because we bought it during this run So we're following where we're at with it. From that purchase, we're down 13.03%, but that's not active in the portfolio. Like, that's not getting moved ever again. That's gone into the retirement portfolio. It's happy days. We are doing bull run part one, and we got some Ethereum moved over into the portfolio, which is awesome. But this doesn't have value. So we're nixing the Lido staked Ether. We're going to start off. So these are the real actives. So this will actually get you one more in there that wouldn't have been in there otherwise. So at number 1, we have Solana, SOL. At number 2, we have Ethereum, ETH. At number 3, we have Synthetics Network, SNX. At number 4, we have Injective, INJ. At number 5, we have Camelot Token, GRAIL. At number 6, we have Arbitrum. At number 7, we have Synapse, SYN. At number 8, we have Thor Wallet Dex, TGT. At number 9, we have Dimension, DYM. And at number 10, we have Superverse, SUPER. Now we have a couple of new things that are moving in to the portfolio that I do want to give mention to. What do we got going? We had the wormhole airdrop. One of the things that I love about the crypto space is airdrops. It is literally stimulation upon high from the land of magic internet money. The wormhole airdrop was roughly, I'd say it was like around about, I think it was like $1,600 upon drop. It took a retracement because a lot of people sell off. What I personally do with my airdrops is a portion of it, I do go ahead and cash out just in case the airdrop goes to zero, because obviously got to protect your investments. So what do we do with our airdrop? We took 20% of that airdrop, put it into the retirement allocation, which we have sitting on every train in a position of WBTC. And then we also bought another Solana to get added into our Solana churning ecosystem, which is the next airdrop that we're farming, which is the Camino Finance airdrop. So we put another Solana into the pit over there to get it working. One thing that I will say is, while Solana hasn't crashed yet, it's darn close. It is darn close. Like the act of using it, smart contract functionality, I understand there's a lot of FUD about Solana. It is still my number one position currently. It is just really sad that they can't get their stuff together on that chain. You got transactions failing. You're having to do them 3 and 4 times. You're having to wait hours just to try again 3 and 4 times for it to fail out. You're constantly getting warnings about your tokens could just be lost because the chain is so bogged down. They're releasing so many meme coins over there. That's currently the narrative, and there's a lot of degens over on Solana. They have a very active NFT space as well, and it's kind of, it puts the hamper on the people who are there actually, solidifying their DeFi ecosystem, making it so that they can trade, because anytime that you're having transactions fail out, you're having transactions fail, it's hard to withdraw, it's hard to deposit, it's hard to move money around. Those are the types of things that make liquidity providers a little bit antsy. And unfortunately, no chain runs without as far as what's used by people, unless you're Cardano, apparently, no chain runs without DeFi, without liquidity providers. Like, that's the main thing that goes on most chains. Like, I understand you can look to NFTs, lots of NFT activity, lots of NFT trading, but even the concept of minting and putting out these meme coins, there has to be liquidity behind it. There has to be the back end to facilitate those trades on a DEX. These things are needed. And when you have a chain that can't get its stuff together, it makes it very frustrating for people who actually are using the ecosystem and supporting the ecosystem and being that backbone infrastructure, because I understand the degens and the meme coin people and the people who don't act, that just get on there and use the chain. When you're in a DeFi space, there has to be another person on the other side of that trade. For you to be able to go onto a DEX and trade, there has to be liquidity for that trading pair. Those are actual people. And that's the reason some of these chains don't grow past what they have a limiter on how far they can grow, on how far that they can scale. Because in order for it to be DeFi, it's decentralized. It requires people. And Cardano aside, which isn't performing well, there's no chain that doesn't have a DeFi ecosystem running as the backbone. That's where all the money that's locked up on these chains come from. Period. Whenever you get through. It's what it is. And that requires people. If your chain makes people uneasy, it's going to be hard to get people to provide that infrastructure, especially when that infrastructure is money. I'm just going to leave it at that. It's still in my second position. I believe that it's going to do well over the bull run, but this is the reason that it's not a long-term play. When it's working, it's great, but the chain's been congested. It hasn't gone down, which is actually an improvement, but it's been under the congestion warning since the wormhole airdrop, which is insane. And it's got multiple airdrops upcoming. There's airdrops coming behind that wormhole airdrop. And it's if you can't handle the one, geez, it's going to be putting a lot of strain on the network. But that said, we did some moving around. We did make some plays. The other thing that we did, we started our AI narrative play. We're doing a position in Akash. That is a blue chip AI narrative token. That's going to be it's an easy play. It's in the Cosmos Tendermint ecosystem. That's a natural shoe-in for me. It has on-chain staking. Easy place to put a bulk of those tokens. I'll mess with it. We're going to have to see, because I've got a pretty decent position started. We're going to have to see what we do with the follow-up position to that, if we're going to just go all on-chain staking and just have it there and have it going, or if we're going to put a position, do half on-chain, half in a liquidity position. We'll see what we're going to do. I also still need to figure out how big that position is going to be. But since the time of purchase, we are up 2.3% on that. Coins that are in buy range right now, we're looking at Osmosis. Injective's not. It's just a little bit down again. Altcoins are taking a beating. Celestia is back in buy range again, so we might be scooping up a little bit more of that. We've started dollar cost averaging into our Umami position because we are using that platform. It is performing wonderfully. Support the underlying token. It's just a shoe-in for me, so that position will be growing as well. Also, probably going to be a decent moonshot position considering it's down in the 2000s. So I got another degen. Gamma Strategies is another one. Obviously, Whales market is not performing the way that I had hoped. But it's a small position. Another very degen play, so this could change. We're probably going to do one more cash infusion into that, considering how low it is, to see if we can pull that average back up, because I think during the bull run, that is going to pop off. Speaking of popping off, honorable mention, Velindrome Finance. I remember when I was excited about this being at 10 cents. We got this on an airdrop. It is now at 28 cents. We are now cooking off that eating off that liquidity position because we kept a majority of those tokens. That is the exchange that I use on Optimism. Boy, oh boy, is it doing work. So shout outs to that. There's the honorable mentions from the portfolio and the moves that were made. Again, that's going to be started a position in Akash Network. We are also dollar cost averaging off of our cash reserve holdings that we're consolidating onto the Arbitrum network, because as we know, I'm a very big Arbitrum fan. Hasn't had a slowdown yet that I've experienced, and it has been wonderful. The fees are down to dust. Again, There's no reason to not be on there. There was no reason to not be on there before, but the fees were getting up there. They were inching higher and higher. Now you're talking about between 0 and like less than a penny, and I'd say 4 or 5 cents, which is amazing. So we've got our cash reserves living over there. We are using Umami for that, which is a great ecosystem for that. Got to do a little bit of work to get onto it, but they have a native coin. We are starting to stack that native coin. We will be staking that native coin. Things are looking good in that regard. We also got the wormhole token working. Obviously, it has had a major sell-off because obviously people are desperate. You give them free money, they're going to sell most of it. There are some liquidity plays to be had with it, so we went ahead and took our cuts. We did a little bit of cash reserve action. We are going to continue to hold a little bit of those coins. I don't like just dumping airdrops unless it's completely worthless, but this airdrop came from bridging. So I am going to hold on to my wormhole tokens and see what we can do. See if we can either make some additional income off of it, or find a use. If we find a legitimate use case for it, like I haven't read into the wormhole ecosystem. It's one of the ones that I looked into this just from using things. You use bridges, you use stuff when they start releasing tokens, they airdrop them. Sometimes you might qualify. So that was a random, hey, I qualified for this token allocation from moving money and funds from Solana to Ethereum, which is awesome. Bridging that way. And, do that for a little while, just doing normal things I'm doing, and then boom, $1,600 cash infusion into the portfolio, which is always welcome. The Camino Finance one is a lot more intentional, but we're gonna see what it do. Now, before we get to the news, I want to go ahead and hit what the topic of the video is, and let me go ahead and get this out the way. Get to these bananas. We're going to talk about today on this episode. We'll kind of wedge the gems into the middle here, so you had to have watched this far to get to the meat and potatoes of the show. The 3 reasons traders fail during the Bitcoin bull run. And I'm just going to do a quick breakdown on the things that I've seen, and I've got a bonus one for you that I just couldn't leave out. So, when I do these types of breakdowns, I always try to consolidate it. And then there's always like one little thing that I got that just is put on my brain, and I'm like, you know what? The people need to know this. This is important. This is information that might be able to help somebody make some better decisions. So we're going to go in order of like what I see that gets the people who are trying to trade the bull cycles to fail during the bull cycles. Number 1, following the news cycle. Now, there's so much news that I could say that there are news sources that you can follow to kind of get a heads up, kind of start pointing you in the right direction. If you find stuff that's relevant to the strategy that you've allotted for yourself, there are places out there that you can go and you can find those news. Now, if you're a part of Circa 84 and you're looking to take your investments to the next level and you're wanting to get in the weeds and you're really wanting to get granular and tactical with this is something that I've got pinned over in the Discord over there at Circa 84. Obviously, there's a paywall for that level of alpha, but for my Circa 84 members, and if you're tapped into Guns and Butter, I have spilt the beans on this live, but it's not something that I'm going to delve into right now. But there are news sources, and I'm not the oracle of news sources or the arbiter. I'm just saying there's sources that are pointing people in the right direction, and they're not as heavily followed as the primetime news or the mainstream news outlets. The people who follow the mainstream news outlets, they're getting news late, which is the same for if you trade in the traditional finance markets. If you're watching the traditional finance news, you're watching Squawk Box, whatever the heck that is, CNBC, Market Watch, any of the CNN market updates, whatever, where they bring up crypto, and that's where you're getting your news feed from and your signals on what you're supposed to be doing. You're likely doing the opposite of whatever it is they're telling you to do. You need to be doing the opposite of whatever it is they're telling you to do. They're just wrong all the time. And so people will get in there and they'll start following the news cycle. I mean, even within the cryptocurrency space, the YouTube news, you're following late. It's late. If you're not in the bag chasers at minimum, and that's Anton Daniels of AntonDaniels.com's bag chasers or Circa 84, link in the description. Both are paywall options. They get this 72 hours before everyone else is watching it. And that's because there's a paywall involved in there. And like, I've been considering putting up a Patreon for people who just want to support the channel and releasing these there first as well. I mean, honestly, if we do something like that, I might actually, if we do something like that, I might start recording these live. Because I mean, these are just one-shot recordings anyway. So if I did it live and we could do it for the actual channel supporters, I might be interested in that. Let me know down in the description if you think that's a good idea, is to go ahead and get that Patreon spun up. I was going to wait until I had membership tiers and I got my channel monetized. But if that's something that would be of value to people, if you want the alpha as it's happening, I could live stream. I could do that. I could do this show. I could do my future financial strategies, because I'm recording these live anyway. I'm just recording them with just me. No one else is in here. But if we do some sort of paywall, I'd be willing to do that. I'd be willing to set those live streams up to where when I'm recording them, you guys can be in the studio with me. You can get some questions answered while I'm doing it live. Chat with me. It'll be a private stream. Not everybody will get to see it until it's time for them to see it. But let me know. And we might see what we can get cooking with that. Do like an early adopter Patreon where it's just like a couple of bucks. Give me give me a soda from Quick Trip while we can still afford sodas from Quick Trip. You know what I'm saying? Throw me a couple of bucks. I got quarters. I just need the $2. What about something like that? Let me know down in the comments and I will reply to those if that would be something of value. If it is, I will set it up. Now, but yeah, so they get that early. And if I do the Patreon thing, there's going to be a tier above that people will be getting it a little bit earlier than that. All 10 of you. But you're getting the information a little bit late. Like it's a little bit behind. Like moves have been made based on the information. For those that are serious about it, they'll go through this video, they'll see the stuff, they'll start making moves maybe, and then those moves are made. I'm giving you these a day after I've made the move. Now, fortunately, I'm not into meme coins. I'm not promoting meme coins. I'm not doing that. So I'm not trading against you. But it is a scenario where it's like the later you come into the position, you are someone at some points exit liquidity. And my goal is to make sure that the wolf pack over here, we're in as early as possible into these positions. Now, as far as the Akash position goes, I am way late. I got put onto Akash a long time ago, did not move on it, but it wasn't the right time. Like I'm going to go in for the run and I'll get what I get out of the run. I understand it's not going to be a bazillion X play, but I'm getting exposure to the narrative. So we're looking at getting exposure into these positions based on what they mean for the portfolio, because obviously narratives are running. I am not going to likely participate in the meme coin narrative. It's highly unlikely. I might do a miniature fun portfolio where I throw $500 into a few $100 positions and see what happens. At best, the meme coins that you see in my portfolio have been either acquired well before this or were part of a incentive program from liquidity providing, because we do get stuff for free, or we're just airdropped in my wallet. Like on my Solana wallet, cat with hat showed up there. I just looked in there, it was there. I have another meme coin that's over on Optimism. I forgot the name of it, that just showed up. It's like $30 in this meme coin. Gonna let it sit. I'm just like, well, we'll see if it does anything. I mean, whatever. Not gonna talk about it. Like, because it's not worth talking. It's like blatantly, it's like the picture of it's just ridiculous. But It's what it is. So following the news cycle can easily get you on the wrong side of a lot of trades, just like in the traditional finance, but on steroids. There's multiple different ways to look at that. The next one, number 2, believing in the rich gurus. Now, what I'm talking about here is when I have people all the time be like, did you hear what God, just pick Jamie Dimon said about Bitcoin. It's going to zero. He doesn't like it. Did you hear what Warren Buffett said about Bitcoin? It's going to zero. He doesn't like it. Did you hear what Peter Schiff is railing about Bitcoin? You should be buying gold. Bitcoin's going to zero. He doesn't like it. Or did you hear what Kathy Wood said about Bitcoin? It's going to $1 million. Like that's the thesis that she has. I'm going to believe her. Did you hear what Michael Saylor said about Bitcoin? Now, you should always do your own research on anything. Just because somebody said, like, the incumbent system, of course, is going to speak poorly about Bitcoin. The same reason that those of us who are in Bitcoin speak highly of Bitcoin. We have our own narratives. We have our own ideologies that we're following. And it's cool to get on board either or, but I always tell people, just do the math. Look at the chart for Bitcoin. I put in the people who said positive things about Bitcoin too, because there's a lot of hero worship within the cryptocurrency space where people just believe what they say. And like, they don't do their own research. They just go grain of salt. I like Warren Buffett. I believe what he says. He says Bitcoin is rat poison squared. I don't like it. Charlie Munger said Bitcoin is rat poison. I don't like it. Well, you also have to look at why. They're the old guard. They're literally the prehistoric dinosaurs of the old financial system. Of course, they're not going to like Bitcoin because it doesn't benefit them. It is power and wealth being removed from them and their system. Richard Fain doesn't like Bitcoin because he lost money in meme coins. Another good one. He is also the old system. He is not a Warren Buffett level old system, but he's rich. He part of the 1%. He was pretending like he's not to get you guys to watch his channel, be on his team. He's on your team. He's here for the little guy, even though he's rich and no longer the little guy. What an oxymoron. That's crazy. It's crazy to me. It's not crazy to want to help working class people get to a better position, but to sit there and be like, look, I'm one of you. Like, really? That's like when white people say they have a black friend. Like, that doesn't make you black though. Let's be honest. Let's keep it a bean here. But there's an intent behind it. He's selling you things. He is an advisor. He charges to advise. If you just buy Bitcoin, none of the advice he gives you is better than buying Bitcoin. There's no result that he could recommend to you in the traditional finance market. He doesn't even show his portfolio results. This is a man that gets excited about 20% for the year, all of it. But if you're rich, you won't listen to him. If you're rich, that means you're directly competing with them. And these systems weren't set up for people to compete with the 1%. There's a reason it's called the 1%. Like, they don't want everybody to be able to compete. And it's not even a matter that everybody could compete. I just think that it would be, probably a decent idea for people who just want to have a decent living and protect their wealth to be able to do so in an efficient manner without having to know some secret code so that they can make sure that they can, at some point when they're tired and their bodies are beat down to gruel, because people are just going to work. Everybody's not quitting work. I mean, everybody at this point might quit work because the system's so broken that it's blatantly obvious that there's a level of fulfillment that just isn't reached anymore. But when that time comes, they should be able to retire at their behest. They should be able to take extended time off and still not have to worry about having a job. They should be able to figure out how to set themselves up so that they're not in indefinite wage slavery in old age. Like, that is wild to me. But people get in these camps, they get in these guru, these hero worship camps, and they just take everything that these people say as fact. And even when it's about stuff that they don't know anything about. Warren Buffett knows nothing about crypto, admittedly. He doesn't know. But because he's ultra wealthy, they believe that anything that has money has to do with money. He just knows. And it's like, well, if you have, and I tell people this all the time, like when you're just starting out, the portfolio that you would have just starting out might be a little bit different than what my portfolio is now, because I have a larger basis. So moves are different. And it's the same when I look at these people who know about trading. It's like, when you're trading and you have a larger portfolio, your MO is different. You're no longer swinging for the fences. You're not working from a space of desperation. There's a difference between somebody starting from zero and somebody who's got $10,000 in the market. There's a world of difference there. There's also a world of difference from the person who's got $10,000 to the person who's got $50,000 in the market. There's a world of difference there because the swings produce different numbers. It's the same, it's relative, but it's different. So 100% is 100% regardless. But if you're going from 10 to 20 or from 50 to 100, 10 to 20 is dope. 50 to 100 is a little bit different. The numbers change. Now you maybe don't need to be in meme coins. And the person who's got 50,000 versus the person who's got over six figures in the market is different. It's also different for the person who has from six figures to seven figures in the market. World of difference. I would say from 100,000 to 500,000. World of difference. We're not there yet, but when we get there, it's going to be a world of difference, because at that point, 10% and under is cool. That's cool. I can rock with that. That becomes a lot of money. I don't need hundreds of percent. It's almost like it's a question of, is this worth the risk at that point? Because you can still make large leaps forward with less interest, with less of the gain. So then it becomes, well, now you're only investing in altcoins that you actually like and actually believe in. Or you're making more tactical plays. You're not swinging as loose, because also on the flip side of that, the losses are higher. You go into a meme coin with $100 and lose it. That's not that big a deal. Do it with $10,000. Most of y'all, when we talk about losses, tell me straight up that is like some of the positions that I've had that have failed during bull runs that I did decent in. You couldn't hack it. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the reason it's different. So I understand why people who are starting out want to get into meme coins and want to get into the hype. Is because you're not losing anything. You're not putting $10,000 in a meme coin. You're putting like $100, maybe $500, maybe 1,000, maybe. I wouldn't recommend it, but maybe you are degenerate gambling, but you're not losing big. It's relatively small. And if you win, you have the opportunity to win big. It's like, okay, well, if you can afford to lose $1,000, you put $1,000 into a meme coin, that doesn't affect you because you can afford to lose it. But if you can't afford to lose it, it's going to be a different conversation. But they follow these rich gurus, and I'll tack in your favorite crypto YouTuber, the ones that are actually pushing individual tokens. There are some that are good. There are some that are blatantly trading against you, that stay in the conversation, that have been busted trading against you. But, people don't want to listen. Everybody wants to get rich tomorrow, and they want to believe the guy who's got all the money. That's what they want to do. You've got money, you just know things. They know the way that they got the money. I'll give them that. But unless you're getting like an update or getting into position, like I know that there's some really good airdrop channels out there, and I'm gonna have to start doing some research on that are getting you in position to get into some airdrops. Those are useful. Those are useful, and those are things where everybody wins because you're not in competition with anyone. So when you're doing an airdrop, so like as a liquidity provider, if you give up your liquidity pool positions, it's the reason I don't talk about specific positions. Every once in a while, we'll talk about a platform that I'm using, but you got to figure out where them positions are yourself. I'll lead you to the water. You got to drink it on your own. But the airdrop deal, there's no competition there because everyone gets the airdrop, and having less people doesn't affect your position and how many tokens you're getting on your airdrop, having more people in there. Now, liquidity pool positions, you can run yourself out of money. It's counterproductive. It's the reason that they don't give you the alpha of the people who've been in these positions longer. They don't really talk about staking. They don't want to tell you about liquidity pool positions unless they're sending you away from where they're at. Like, they're not giving you their positions, what they're doing. They're telling you other positions because it's counterproductive, because then they just make less money. You bring people in. If everybody did what I did, there would be less money to go around for everybody. It's just the reality of it, which is why I only talk about the platform. I don't talk about the plays. You can do your own research, and you might be into some of the same positions with me, but like you gotta keep an eye on your gurus, man. Why are they taking these positions? Are they bitter because they bought meme coins during the last bull run, trying to get rich tomorrow, thinking they know something about finance, and this is just numbers, and doing the exact thing that they advocate that their people don't do, which is gamble on something you don't know? And now they're mad at Bitcoin. Richard Fain. Or are they a gold bug and they believe that everybody should buy gold, even though gold has nowhere near performed as well as Bitcoin? If Bitcoin dropped all the way down to $5, it would still outperform gold based on math from when it started to $5. Bitcoin outperformed gold when it hit $5. We're well past that now. Gold ain't even in the same conversation as Bitcoin at this point. But, being that you're a gold bug and you sell people gold, maybe you have a panache because if people buy Bitcoin, nobody's buying your terribly performing product because you're making money from that. On the flip side, maybe in some metaphorical world where those of us who've been in Bitcoin for a decade, been screaming at the top of our lungs for a decade, those of you who follow me on Facebook, you can scroll back to 2013, starting in 2013. I was hype about Bitcoin. 2017 was hype about the cryptocurrency space, telling people, screaming about it. People were telling me I was stupid. They're still on the post. I go back and read them sometimes and wonder where they're at now. And sometimes I go look at their profiles. They're still brokies. Maybe, hypothetically, we're trying to get all of you into the market to be our exit liquidity. But I mean, a decade's a long play. That's a long sell. I'm just saying. Maybe we're trying to help some of you get on the boat that we're on, because we don't want you asking us for nothing after the dust settles from this wealth transfer. Maybe. Moving on to number 3. The number 3 thing that I see people doing that loses them money and causes these traders, these fly-by-nights, these I'm in the market trying to get rich tomorrow people to fail. Chasing alpha. Oh, I heard about this thing over here. Does it fit in with your narrative, your plan, your thesis? No, but it went up 1,000%. I want to get 1,000%. They buy in, it dumps. Oh, this coin's up 20,000%. And there's an article about a guy who got rich and he bought the coin and now it's up 20,000%. I'm going to buy in at up 20,000%. Oh, went to zero. Oh, I want to do what everybody else is doing. Reckless rate and error. I want to do what you do. Let me get set up. As soon as the market goes down, I had to sell all my position out because I lost money. The number went down. Why'd you do that? Because the number went down. Okay. Come the actual bull run when I'm hitting and talking about that same coin that you sold out on because you were trying to do what I was doing. Now I'm up and you're complaining. Oh, why didn't you tell? Like, I did tell you. I did. Why'd you tell me not to buy a coin with the dog on it, but you gave a coin that same bull run that went up 30,000% that I chose not to buy because I wanted to buy the coin with the dog on it, and you talked me out of it. And now if I would have got the gain off of the dog coin, I'd be rich. You'll never be rich. You're bad with money. You're gonna probably be struggling with that forever until you figure it out. But you're chasing alpha, which is the main reason that you're not rich. You're not making money in cryptocurrency. It's you're not following your plan. You're chasing. You're desperate. You're making plays out of desperation. You are doing things out of desperation. You are poor in mind and spirit, and you are desperate. And I understand. I get it. You just ain't gonna win like that. Those people don't win. The people trying to get rich tomorrow don't win. We hear articles about them online, never see them. Because they don't actually win. I don't believe that these people exist. I think that you can make up a new story about anything to get some people to get into a coin. And sure, some people might get a little bit of a pump out of it. They don't know what to do with the money when they get it. If you're constantly chasing the next big thing and you don't have a concerted plan, you're going to have problems. You're going to create problems for yourself. Like, there's a reason we are strategically and intentionally moving into the Akash position now. Because for me, this bull run, it was more important for me to get my liquidity pool positions going, get that income going, so that could pay for the future positions. And now we're at a point to where it's like, okay, cool. Let's go. Like, let's get this. There's no reason to not follow your plan, to rush to get into positions that maybe do benefit you, maybe don't. Because the positions that I'm in, I don't know what the results of those positions are yet. And that's the thing people keep forgetting about. It's like, if you follow your plan and the entire market's just popping off, most likely some of the stuff that's in your plan is going to pop off too. You got to look at it like almost like a VC during the bull runs. And then as we're moving in, we're closing in on the halving. We're going to have most likely people are going to sell off after the halving. They're going to get hyped up. They're going to sell off. And I'm going to have another buying opportunity through the halving, after the halving, for a little bit. And then when we start running, then we're going to see what's what. But chasing after alpha is seldom the right thing to do, because you're coming in late. You're exit liquidity at that point if you're chasing. And we're going to leave that one at that. Now, I've got a bonus for you. And this comes down to if you had the money, you'd just lose it. Having no exit strategy. You have no dollar cost average out strategy. You're not converting over into things that you're long. You're just buying your dog coin and holding it until it goes to zero. And what I saw last bull run personally was I saw some people who really thought they knew what they were doing that were talking about buying the dip as they were losing thousands of dollars a week. They just kept buying. And then they kept buying. And then they kept posting about buying the dip. And I was telling them, this ain't that dip. This ain't the dip you buy. And you know, all I know is they've for sure stopped talking about their little dog coin as they realized that the run was over. Yeah. Interesting. How people are so confident. And you know, it happened to me when I first got into crypto too. It was a different project. It wasn't a dog coin. It was supposed to be a quote unquote ETH killer. And I did the same thing. And somebody reached out to me on Twitter when I was beating my chest because I was up more than I'd ever been before. And they were like, yo, you should probably pull your profits. I was like, nah, I know what I'm doing. Big kid, big man out here in these streets. I'm winning. I'm hyped. We're in the euphoria phase. Everyone's a genius. You know what's going on. You're feeling good. And sure enough, same thing happened to me. I did walk with something, but it's not near what it should have been. Because we took some hits, some body shots before we actually got out of the project. Now, on that same note, like a lot of these meme coin people, they feel good. They get that air of euphoria because we're seeing these pop-offs pre-halving. We're not even in the run yet. This is just pre-halving fun. People are desperate in gambling. Fun. Some people are seeing some numbers go up. It's fun. But the issue is that's the difference between the people who are here for the long term and the people who are here trying to do something tomorrow. We're not playing the same game. You guys are a flash in the pan. And most of the time, I'm not seeing nobody actively in reality. I mean, I say the same thing about when it comes to certain other type of trading, specifically options trading. Like, the only people that I know that are wealthy, that are in the investment business, in that sphere, that I know, and I do have access to a lot of wealthy people, are people who build businesses and own hospitals or doctors. They do a high-paying job. I've never met a trader. Like, I've never met a professional trader. Like, I literally haven't. That was rich. That was like rich enough to buy any of the products that my business offers. Never met them. Never seen them. They're always doing something else. The trading is not like they're like this. Okay, I do this. Like, cool. But I've never personally seen them. I've seen hedge fund managers. I've seen investment bankers. I've seen all sorts of other things. But I've never seen the individual that's like, yeah, I trade and like that's all I do. Now, obviously, I haven't like for me, when I start getting into that game, I think it's going to be as a retirement thing to continue to generate income within a portfolio. Because I'll just be managing money at that point. But I just don't see it. Like, I'm putting together a dividend portfolio. It's going to just kick off money. Like, I see people who do the FIRE movement, some of those who succeed at that, down that road, they're not in the market day trading every day. Like, I don't see it. I've never seen it. I've yet to see it. I've never seen the person who's retired and they're just like, what do you do? I day trade. I'm also super rich. I'm wealthy. Like, I don't see it. They set up brokerages. They do something. They get funds under management. They get a bunch of really fast computers. Most of the trading these days are done by computers that read everything in 1 second and process the information and then place the trade. It's 2 seconds. Humans just aren't fast enough to compete at that level at that game. That said, I mean, there's people who have success at it, but they still go to work. Like, that's all I'm saying. I'm like, it's the mindset of it. It's like, I'm looking at it where it's like, yo, I need to build up this pool of reserves, and then it's going to generate income, and I'm putting things in place that are also going to generate income so that I don't have to touch the pool, and every once in a while I'm going to dip into it, leverage it, and use the dividends that I'm creating in my traditional space to pay that loan back. That's what I'm setting up. And it's going to be a self-cycling system, and then I'll go find something I actually want to do, or an industry I actually want to be in, or some other way to contribute, and I will build something. Because that's basically how wealthy people continue to be wealthy. Or I'll just buy property. I'll just start buying up property, and I'll do that. But like the trades, when people are like, do you trade? I'm like, over very, very long periods of time. Sure. I guess I'm a trader. Because when I consolidate down at the end of the year, that would I guess. But these are the things that the hills, hiccups, and chases that I see people run into, is they have no exit strategy. So when they hit that 1,000x and they turn that $100 into $100,000 or whatever crazy number they come up with, where they're just like, wow, I did something. Then they just freeze up. It's almost like your fight or flight kicks in, and they just freeze. They just freeze. And then they ride those positions to zero. Because they had no plan to begin with. They're not like, hey, once this hits this certain amount, I'm going to start dollar cost averaging out. Once we get to here, I'm going to start dollar cost averaging out. Oh, after we hit a certain amount, after we hit 300%, I'm going to take my money off the table. I'll get my $100 back at 300%. So at least I got that. Don't do that. They just get emotionally attached to these investments and then just ride them until it's over. And by it's over, I mean they lose their money. The money they put in, the money they should have got, a lot of the gains, most of the gains, all the gains, because people will be talking about buying stuff on the way down. They're just making worse positioning now. Like it's unless it actually goes back up, and I doubt most of those people had the wherewithal that bought all the way down and kept buying the dip and kept buying the dip, and then the dip turned into the dippy dip, and then you went into a lower dip. I high key doubt that they had the wherewithal to ride through that and continue buying through the bear market to now. And like the question is, when do you get back to break even? And also considering that there's really little to no value in those dog coins. Is it gonna get the traction? Because like now there's a whole heaping pile of other meme coins that are now doing what those coins did the last time. Are they still relevant? Are you gonna get your money back? Those are good bull run questions. So now we are going to jump into the news. Bring this back up. So we got the Crypto Roundup brought to you by Delta Investment Tracker app powered by eToro. Shout outs to them. I will have this in the notes for those of you who want to tap in and be in the know on the major developments within the crypto space. And I'm already seeing I've seen a few things that got me real excited right now. Okay. First and foremost, we've got Hong Kong plans to permit in-kind contributions for spot Bitcoin ETFs. In-kind. Oh boy. So this is a big one, and people don't understand why I'm not gung-ho about the Bitcoin ETFs. I mean, I'm gung-ho in the sense that, like, great, it brings stuff into the market. I'm not gung-ho about the way that they have them set up here. And the reason being is you can't go cash your Bitcoin ETF in for anything other than dollars. So in the scenario that you actually need something's going on with the dollar and you need the Bitcoin and you're only in the Bitcoin ETF and you don't have any physical Bitcoin because it's just in your brokerage portfolio, guess what? You can only get the dollar out of it. You can't get Bitcoin out of it. It actually really sucks in that scenario, which is the reason that, it was in my portfolio for a flash. And then once I found some products, because if I'm going to be dealing in dollars, then I want products that are going to just produce income in dollars. That's what I'm looking at. So, it's a tinfoil hat thought process there. And I 100% know that, but in the event that you need the Bitcoin, you can't get the Bitcoin out of the Bitcoin ETFs in America. It's just what it is. So I think that's a big move for Hong Kong to be like, you can get in kind out. You can get your Bitcoin. I like that. That's something that's pro people. The way it's set up in the US is pro the dollar. They want to keep you in that ecosystem. They want you too scared and too uninformed to go out and hold in custody your own Bitcoin and be responsible for it. They want you to need the Richard Faines of the world as middlemen to get in between you and your money because you're dumb and they're scared. And that's going to work for some of you, understandably. But in Hong Kong, you can get your Bitcoin. Optimism allocates $3 billion for grants to its blockchain developers. Let's go. It's going to be some major incentives, some major money flowing around Optimism. I'm going to have to dive back in. Obviously, we are on Velindrome Finance, provide some liquidity on there. Optimism is a chain that I kind of just been doing stuff basic on. I might have to dive back into their ecosystem board and see if there's anything else that's interesting on there. I might have to look for some more positions. It's just Velindrome and synthetics for me. Ondo Finance to transfer $95 million to BlackRock's tokenized fund for immediate settlements of its T-bill token. Interesting. I'm gonna have to look into that. That is literal Chinese to me. I don't know what's going on there. But it's finance, it's tokens, It's blockchain. I'm with it. Big players, big money. Synthetics will be coming to Arbitrum, Solana, and Sui. I am in synthetics. I'm excited about that. Synthetics is the backbone for liquidity, runs under the radar. People don't understand the validity of it. They don't understand its importance. They don't understand what it does, but I do. I've been a holder for in and out of that project for a long time. I've made really good gains every bull run since I've been a part of that ecosystem. And you know, we've got a healthy position that we're sitting on. We're kind of in a holding pattern as that position no longer makes money. But now that we're seeing it expand, we might be looking at some. If the native token goes to all these chains, I might be looking at some liquidity positions, add some more synthetics to the coffers. 1inch launch phase 2 of its community builder program. Now, 1inch was a really awesome exchange. Definitely did some stuff on there last bull run. And then they IP blocked the states, so I couldn't do as much as I wanted to. We might have to revisit that and see what they've got going on and what chains they're active on. Because I know it's active on multiple chains. It's a really good DEX. I did enjoy using it. It was nice. It was very fluid, very smooth, very useful. Also had some really good liquidity farming options on there. We'll have to dive back into some 1inch and see what's going on. Sui is set to unlock 2.67 of its supply on April 3rd. That was already happened. Might want to go check the price of Sui, see if they got a dip or if it pumped. The Bitcoin ETF products saw net inflows of 845 million last week. People are buying. I believe that these Bitcoin ETFs, specifically in the United States, which is the country of origin for me, the Bitcoin ETFs will be saving pensions. It will be saving individual portfolios. It will be saving retirements. That's my thesis on this. It's going to extend the traditional finance's archaic reign a little bit by artificially propping up the markets, because as Bitcoin devours every other asset class, having it within the traditional finance market, eventually you're going to see a bunch of Bitcoin mining, Bitcoin related stuff. There's going to be a Bitcoin season in the S&P 500 where it's just going to be flooded with Bitcoin related businesses and projects. I could see that happening within our lifetimes as Bitcoin continues to devour every other asset class. It's already got silver. It's on gold's heels. Bitcoin is the Jason Voorhees of science. Or of finance. Jason Voorhees of finance. It's like you turn around, it teleports forward. Next thing you know, it's on you. And then it just devours you whole. But I digress. I think that's where we're going to call it for this episode of Crypto Portfolio Updates. It's your boy, Reckless Ray Dinero. For those of you who stuck it out the whole video, definitely tap in. Let me know. Let me know what insights and gems you gleaned from this video. Let's have a conversation about it. Were the 3 reasons that traders failed during the Bitcoin bull run? I gave mine. Do you agree or disagree? What are some of the things that you see people do that come in new to the market, or even veterans in the market? I'm open for critique that causes them to fail during the bull runs. Be talking to you soon down in the comments. It's your boy, Reckless Ray Dinero. Peace.
Cryptocurrency, currency. She love cryptocurrency. Me have a hot sexy girl. Whoa. Yeah. Me have a hot sexy girl, just a tip jar. She wanna go down and she dips her. She love dancehall and calypso. She no want the cash, she want the crypto. Me have a hot sexy girl, just a tip jar. She wanna come up and she dips her. She love dancehall and calypso. She no want the cash, she want the crypto. crypto. Decentralized like a blockchain. Anyway you see me, girl, you know it now go stop wait. Pull up in the Beamer, all the Benz, all the Bentley. Cryptocurrency, that's what we spending. We not in a lending. No for them a snake, yo. We not in a friending. Bad man fussy them. Once see we ending. Smiling out with face, but call that pretending. Now left me 9 milli. Girls say we trending. Me have a hot sexy girl, just a tip jar. She wanna go down and she dips her. She love dancehall and calypso. She no wanna cash, she wanna crypto. Me have a hot sexy girl, just a tip jar. She wanna come up and she dips her. She love dancehall and calypso. She no wanna cash, she wanna crypto. She love cryptocurrency, currency, cryptocurrency, currency, cryptocurrency, currency. She love cryptocurrency. MetaMask wallet. Cryptocurrency, currency, cryptocurrency, currency, cryptocurrency, currency. Coinbase wallet. Stack it up. Me have a hot sexy girl, just a tip jar. She wanna go down and she dips her. She love dancehall and calypso. She no wanna cash, she wanna crypto. Me have a hot sexy girl, just a tip jar. She wanna come up and she dips her. She love dancehall and calypso. She no wanna cash, she wanna crypto. She love how me DeFi. And so me make she feel high. Digital currency, I wish she need.